We're gonna get into a little history today. Pretty much what I want to go into, dealing with our history, was just going into Joseph, because he played a real key role in our history, and just I ask y'all a question real quick, and it's open to anybody, and really ain't no wrong answer. But when y'all go into the history and read about these accounts, what do y'all get from it? Y'all just kind of lock in the information and the accounts, or like I say, ain't no wrong answer. I was just trying to get something out. Somebody grab real quick Romans 15:4. Cause it's pretty much gonna be Lord willing, first of few or many history classes. Go ahead, you gotta bring it out. Everybody knows the scripture.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Yep. So everything that we read, even in the New Testament, is all history. So, like, just using myself for example, when I go into the history and go into these different accounts and see how the Most High set up everything a certain way, it helped build my faith and trust in the Most High, that no matter what it might seem to the world, and it might seem like a fucked up situation, the Most High set it up that way for a specific reason. So that's why I wanted to go into a little bit of the story of Joseph, to show how the Most High set him up to go through certain things in order to bring basically a deliverance onto the rest of his brothers and his father. Alright, so this pretty much is going to be mostly reading. That's the history. Ain't really no deep breakdowns to worry about, man. Just going into the history and seeing how the Most High orchestrate, man. But I want to start in Genesis. Somebody grab Genesis 30 and 22.
Is Genesis 30 verse 22. And Yahweh remembered Rachel, and Yahweh hearkened to her and opened her womb. And she conceived and bare a son, and said, Yahweh had taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, Yahweh shall add to me another son.
So that's all I wanted. I just wanted to get the birth of Joseph and the meaning of his name real quick. Alright. Y'all know, since you already reading, you'll jump over to Genesis 37 and start at verse 5.
What his name is?
Add unto me.
How you say it in Hebrew?
Yahweh.
37 verse 5.
Yeah, real quick. Any brother want to take a stab at it, and what did he add? Well, on top of that, what did he add with dealing with the definition or the meaning of his name? What else did he add?
He had 2 sons.
Kind. You got it, y'all now.
This is Genesis 37 verse 5. And
Everybody understood that? Come.
You good, Lamar? You heard the brother answer?
No, I'm good.
Tell him again, brother.
Well, Joseph's name in the Hebrew means to add to me. Yahweh in the Hebrew, and the Most High added to him 2 sons that was considered to be Jacob's sons. All right, part of the 12, and it was Manasseh and Ephraim. Ephraim and Manasseh.
Kind. Hey, but at any time, bro, don't worry. Shit, speak up if you don't catch something. That's the whole point of us having class.
Brothers speak up too when they talking.
Come on.
It's Genesis 37, verse 5. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheep stood round about and made up
Obeisance.
Obeisance. I want somebody to get that word too.
obeisance to my sheaf.
Come on, you can pause right there real quick while we get that word. Somebody can get in the blue letter and then an etymology as well. Because if you go up a few verses before ahead of where we started, it was going into how Joseph, he was the favorite son of Israel because of he had him of old age, which you read in verse 3. So basically, what it's going into, starting at verse 5, Joseph received a dream. Okay, and it's pretty much when he go into the next, go all the way down to 10, Joseph pretty much was prophesying what would happen unto him being sent into the land of Egypt, and that his brothers was eventually gonna have to come, basically bow to him, man. All right, anybody got them definitions first?
I got that tomorrow.
Come on, go ahead, bro.
You got the blue letter.
We'll get the blue letter first and then grab that one.
Alright, it's obeisance.
Verse 7.
Verse 7. Alright, it's
Speak up too, bro.
Genesis 37 and verse 7. It's obeisance. Shakah. And it means this is the headstrong's information. It says a primitive root to depress, i.e. prostate, especially reflective in homage to royalty or power. Bow, self down, crouch, fall down flat, humbly beseech.
Mm-hmm. So just real quick, so you getting words such as homage, paying respects unto a royal power. So the dream that he got, his sheaf was standing upright, and their sheaf was basically paying homage under his sheaf, so showing that he was going to be at a higher level than them at some point, man. And this was all part of, you think about it, this was the Most High setting up, because they was already jealous of him and envious of him because he was their father's favorite son. So now that he didn't have this dream, we're going to read it in verse 8. What happened, the Most High is building their hatred towards their younger brother to do what they did, which we're going to get to through the Spirit. But go ahead and some more.
Some more. It says, fall down flat, humbly beseech, do make obeisance, do reverence, make to stoop, worship.
Come on.
That was it.
You guys out on.
It's obeisance, noun, late 14th century, act or fact of obeying. From Old French, obedience, service, feudal duty. From Latin, to obey. Since in English, to late 14th century, to bending or prostration of the body as a gesture of submission or respect.
Come on. So basically, his dream was letting him know that there's gonna come a point in time they're gonna basically have to bow unto him or obey him. Read verse 8 real quick, y'all know. We'll finish what you was writing, bro.
No, that's not.
Okay.
It says, verse 8. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for
So
his
that
words.
pissed them off. They like, man, they already tired of him being the favorite. So they just, once he came with that dream, so they like, say, what you say, you gonna rule over us? You gonna be running things one day? Keep reading on.
And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance
Obeisance
to me.
come. We basically had a similar dream, but pretty much the same interpretation will come that he will be above them for some reason, which we're gonna get to. But go ahead.
If I could just
Yeah.
for those 11 stars, we're talking about, the tribes.
Right, that's
Well,
a good.
it's not, let's not. Go ahead.
No,
No, say what you want.
no, I'm saying that's a good precept, like to prove that Israel is in the scriptures is known as stars, just like Revelation 12.
Kind
I think Isaiah 14 chapter go into it.
Verse,
You can read 9 again.
Genesis 37, verse 9. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee?
Hey, cause you gotta think about it, man. This is the youngest brother coming and saying this to his brethren. So now his daddy, he done came and Israel done came and got on his ass and like, man, what the hell is you talking about? You about to be running and we all gonna bow down to you? Is that what you trying to say?
You were talking about your brother, now you going a little too far.
Yeah.
Me and your mama.
Man, look, it's cold, man. For the brothers who are familiar, man, with the story, which you go keep reading on, is the Most High gonna set it up so they're gonna be forced to do it. There's gonna be certain circumstances where they're gonna be humbled down and they're gonna have to bow down into him. But you can jump over to verse 18.
Says, and when
Because this
they-
just building up, it was like I said, the scriptures, we're going through the scripture and you seeing how the Most High set it up, where his brothers that was building, had their hatred being built up towards their brother. And now the verse 18 is going to go into what they did through hatred for their brother. Go ahead.
And when, verse 18, and when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they considered, conspired against him to slay him. And they said one
It
to
came
another.
to the point they wanted to put him to death. Go ahead.
And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh.
You know that's Jake coming so dreaming ass walking up right here, because they had went forth already. They was already had been gone out to feed the flocks. So then Israel sent Joseph after his brethren afterwards. So he went searching for him. So that's the point we're coming at 18, where he was catching up with them while they was out feeding the flocks.
Kind of like he always having these dreams, and he's saying a dream mean this and mean that. And
Yeah, because when they said it, they was being
Yeah.
sassy with it. When in my margin, it say, "Oh, here come the master of dreams." Like, "Oh, here come the master of dreams."
Now imagine we just hearing these two in this chapter. We just reading them two dreams. Ain't no telling how many other dreams he might have been having and telling his brothers and stuff. But go ahead.
Verse 20, Come now therefore and let us slay him and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast had devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams.
Jake starts scheming on him.
Right. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father's again, to his father again.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors.
Yeah, and that coat was a coat that Israel had made for him. Basically, he made him a coat, which you're reading 37:3. He had made him a coat of many colors. Go ahead.
You know why I had many clothes? Anybody? Because it was many pieces. Many pieces of material.
Yeah, you look like you watch some of them old, I say like in them American stories or whatever, with somebody out in there and they got them fur coats and they got different colors because they done use different furs
Skins,
and skins.
Because he saw like to throw that, he made him a coat. Like he painted different colors on the coat. You know, it was different pieces of skin put together to make the coat.
Like a Crown Royal bag.
Yeah, color. Black, apple.
You got it.
Verse 24, and they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked. And behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from
Gilead.
with their camels bearing spears,
Spicery.
spicery,
Yeah.
spicery and palm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt.
Yeah, that's balm, like
Yeah,
healing
balm.
ointment. Yeah, balm is like a healing ointment. Okay.
And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood?
Mm-hmm.
Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content.
Yeah, so Judah was the one that he stepped in and said, no, we're not going to slay him. Let's just sell him into captivity. But you were looking at like the Most High blessed Joseph with the ability, gave him these dreams and blessed him to understand and interpret these dreams. Now somebody look at that, this was a bad thing, man. But this is the way the Most High set it up going forward. He was constantly getting dreams, but it ended up being for the benefit for all of Israel. But keep going, brother. We're gonna stop at 28.
Come. Then, verse 28.
Come.
Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver.
Man.
And they brought Joseph into Egypt.
Okay. So I wanted to go through that to show how Joseph, just go into the background of how Joseph ended up in Egypt. Alright. Somebody pick up for him and go to Genesis 39:1. And they sold their brother for 20 pieces of silver.
Ultimately, yeah, it was the Midianites that did it.
Genesis chapter 39 and 1. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither.
So he got bought by the Egyptian from the Ishmaelites. Go ahead.
And Yahweh was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian.
So that's a main point I wanted to get in verse 2. The Most High was with Joseph this whole time. So everybody, like people will read this and they be thinking, oh, he got the raw end of the deal, but this was what the Most High wanted him to go through for a specific reason. But he was with him, and it made him a prosperous man once he got into the land of Egypt. Hey, the floor open. If you brothers got any questions or points to make, man? Go
And
ahead.
y'all caught the point that Baja made, huh? About the Midianites.
Kind about
They the ones that actually
yeah.
sold him to Ishmael, because they the ones took him out the pit.
Right.
Verse 3. And his master saw that Yahweh was with him, and that Yahweh made all that he did to prosper in his hand.
Hey, and that show you that the other nations had knowledge and fear of our power back then too. They saw that, man. They saw that that power Israel is with him. All right, read verse.
I was about to say that's kind of how it was with Daniel in Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar. You know, the Most High was with Daniel just to give Nebuchadnezzar those dreams and same
Interpret.
thing. Yep, interpret those dreams. And even Nebuchadnezzar said the same thing. Bless the Most High.
Yeah.
You know.
Go ahead. We're gonna read all the way down to 6.
Okay. This is verse 4. Genesis 39:4. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him. And he made him overseer over his house.
Mhm.
And all that he had, he put into his hand.
Yeah, so you gotta think about that. As soon as he got into Egypt, the Most High started increasing him, man. He started allowing him to find grace first with this Egyptian master. All right, go ahead.
It was sweet. The captivity. I mean, well, it was sweet at first.
Yeah,
It's sweet
yeah.
right now.
Alright. It says, verse 5. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that Yahweh blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of Yahweh was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored.
We're gonna start right there in that chapter, but just to go, brothers can read it on their own time. I don't want to go through the whole chapter to get the full account. But what happened was, after he had found favor and was over that house, while the master was gone, his wife, she started looking at Joseph like, man, shit, yeah, okay. So she came after Joseph. She tried to throw the box at him. Joseph had to get out of there naked. She tore his garment off of him trying to get him.
She tried to rape him.
Yeah. She tried to lay hold on him. I be laughing every time I picture that image. Joseph had to get up out of there, man. Alright. Somebody, are you
Yeah, that show you the Most High was with him too.
Yeah.
Jake would have took that box.
Yeah.
And she come to the point where you gotta run out your garment.
Woo!
Hey, and you gotta think about it too. This wasn't just no regular Egyptian. Shit, that his wife had to be nice.
A1.
Bastard.
And she wasn't shit. She probably shit. She came after him, man. That's a hell of a point to make, man. Cause hey, what does the scripture say about an adulterous man? He lack understanding. All right. You want to keep you good to keep reading. Jump over to Genesis 41 and start at 15. And just real quick, man, when you go into reading in chapter 40, man, it's crazy how the Most High kept his ability. Well, it's not his ability, but the Most High was giving him was blessed him with the ability to interpret different dreams. So he was using through that ability, blessing. He was constantly finding favor wherever he went, because once he had fled out of there and his master came back, what you think the wife said? You think she told the truth and said, I tried to take it from him? No, she lied on him and he got cast into prison. But once he was in prison, he found favor amongst the prison guard. And then you had two of Pharaoh's, I think it was his butler and his chief baker,
Yeah.
that had got thrown into the prison. They had dreams, and Joseph interpreted their dreams. So when it came to pass, they told Pharaoh that there was in the scriptures to say a Hebrew had broke down this dream, interpreted our dreams, and now it came to pass. All right, and then what happened after that is what we're about to get into. Go ahead.
This is Genesis 41:15. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have.
We'll start at 14, so like you.
This is Genesis 41:14. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it.
See, look how the Most High was constantly setting him up to be in this position. He had it to where he built credibility by interpreting these dreams up until the point to where Pharaoh, he needed a dream, his dream interpreted, and nobody could do it. So he had got word from two of his servants, a butler and his chief baker, about this Hebrew who could interpret dreams. But go ahead.
Verse 16. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. The Most High shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace.
So he let him know that it's not of me. It's not something I'm doing. It's the Most High that's revealing these the understanding of these dreams unto me, and He'll be able to provide you an answer of peace to this dream that's troubling you. Okay. So can anybody remember? Just for time's sake, we're not gonna go into it, but just remember a backdrop, a rough, I say, summary of the dream that Pharaoh had and what it meant.
Was it basically going to be a drought in Egypt?
Well, it was gonna be plenteous, and then it was gonna come a drought.
Right. Was it 7 years?
Yeah, 7 years plentiful, and then 7 years of drought, and that all play into how Israel was gonna get set back up in a better position during that time of the drought.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm mad.
Nah.
Jump over to verse 41. That should be Shmuel.
I thought you had it to the bathroom.
Hey, I was a wide pickup for that brother. Start at 39. Man.
Well, I did want to say something. I don't know if you was gonna bring it up. I didn't want to jump out there. But what was the solution? What was the solution for that when a drought came? It was to store the 7 years of plenteous, to store up food store up the harvest throughout those 7 years, so that when a drought came, everybody would be good. So that's getting to the verse you starting at right now.
Matter of fact, since start at jump up to 34, just to get straight to the point, and just read on from there. (41 and 34).
Genesis chapter 41 and verse 34. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities.
So he basically told him, like the other just went into, he told him to take, for those 7 years that's plenteous, he said to take a fifth of the food for that during those plenteous years.
Right.
Go ahead.
And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine.
And this showed too that it was the Most High always used an Israelite to make Egypt great, man. Go ahead. Or preserve Egypt as well. Go ahead.
And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom the Spirit of the Most High is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Forasmuch as the Most High has showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
So you gotta think about the man. That's how cold the Most High is, man. And that's why, like I originally started with saying, like, man, when you go into these history accounts, man, they boost your faith, man, and your trust in the Most High, man. Whenever we get put in adverse situations and messed up situations, man, you always got to trust in the Most High that this is part of your process to build to what He wants, where we need to be in the spirit, man. All right, to never get, like, brothers got precepts, baby. I see you flipping. Go ahead.
It's Sirach 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in Yahweh by Shem Yahushua was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
That's it, man. And what did Joseph do when Pharaoh originally came to him? Shit, he didn't. You think he was praying to the Most High for understanding, man, of these dreams. He wasn't just waking up and I got it now. He had trust in the Heavenly Father, man, and that's the same thing we have to do today, man. No matter what we go through, know that the Most High is doing it. If you really believe yourself to be of the hopeful elect, man, the Most High is working with us, man. And we all got different things that we deal with in our personal walks. But it's all for our benefit, man, if we of the elect. All to build you up, man. That's why, like, man, this and if we get on Brother Spirit, man, it's a hell of a lot to read into, man, just to show how the Most High can put these elaborate equations together, man, and that show you that ain't no way no man could have put this together, man. People say, oh, man wrote the Bible. Couldn't no man sit up here and put this together the way this was, man. Starting off by him having hatred built up by his brothers to a point to where they wanted to slay him, then threw him in the pit, and he got sold into captivity, and now he over all of Egypt, right up under Pharaoh, man. You can read on from there.
Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
Joseph had it. I'm just sitting back, just picture. He was there, right up under Pharaoh, man. And we always talk about how, man, we just think about it, man. Egypt was not just no little raggedy rulership, man. So he had to be decked out, man. Sitting right up under Pharaoh, had whatever he said went in Egypt, man. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vesture of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about it too, man. The Most High used Joseph, and it was all for the sake of Israel, preserved Egypt from famine. Because if Joseph wouldn't have came about and broke down their dream and then told him the solution, they would have died in a famine, man. The Egyptian empire would have failed due to 7 years of famine. And it wasn't for Egypt to flourish, but it was for Joseph to get in that position so he can do what we're going to read and soon, man. Go ahead.
And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had, and they cried before him, bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zephaniah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, and Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt.
Hey, and that I know Apostle Gabar went into it, but that's another account showing that you had an Israelite man that lay with a woman of another nation, and the children were Israel. Because you had Ephraim and Manasseh that came out of that.
Right. Stupid ass.
That's a perfect stupid ass.
And what else could you say?
Good man. Jump over to we're gonna go to 45 and 6.
Another thing too is if you read in the 42nd chapter, the famine hit. The whole reason why Jacob sent his sons to Egypt was because the famine had hit the land of Canaan too.
God.
Yep. So it was to deliver Israel, and that's deliver Israel from a famine,
God.
and everything else you went into too.
Uh, 45 and verse 6 and 7.
Genesis chapter.
Cause just real quick, man, because you got about 3 chapters of reading in between this time, but just like Abaya was just going into, that's when they had the famine hit the land of Canaan. All right, so he sent his sons to go to Egypt to go buy corn as much as they could get. But what happened when they got there? Joseph saw his brothers, and they didn't even recognize him. He was strange unto them. He looked like an Egyptian ruler. So they said they not even realizing they standing before their brother, and that was the prophecy being fulfilled. They had to come to their brother and under him, man. And when you go into I think if I'm correct, chapter 44, Joseph didn't reveal himself right away. He was basically, he kept, man, I'll let you brothers on your own time, just for time's sake, man. If it get on you, go ahead and read. It's a hefty reader. Yeah, he had some fun with him.
He said, lead a little boy here.
Yeah,
Right.
the second to youngest.
Yeah.
Little Ben.
You'll see, yeah.
No, Benjamin was the youngest.
Hmm?
No, I said Benjamin was the youngest.
Yeah. Salaki, I said second to youngest.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
come on.
oh, thanks.
Leave little Benjamin here.
Yeah.
He was gonna make our father sad. So he was really.
Joseph was the youngest at the time. Jim Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
The water's out now. Matter of fact, start at 45 and 1. We're gonna read all the way to 7.
Okay.
So this is after Joseph had his little fun, but after he had his fun and they returned, he started treating them, and they was wondering like, damn, man, why is he, man, giving us this special treatment, man?
Hey, he made Benjamin a purple coat.
I don't remember.
I have to go back
I
and
ain't
check.
read it.
Yeah,
sure.
well, I know that he gave Benjamin more food than he gave them.
He gave him
Didn't
more
they say
food and more
leave
raiment.
the note that they left Benjamin, leave that.
Cause something happened. They left a cup in the he had a cup.
Yeah, Joseph told him to put the cup in the bag to the servant, so they make him seem like they stole it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
So
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and they found him inside of Benjamin's bag.
Yeah.
And then Joseph
Yeah.
said, "Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what that is. The water, man. That's what it is. Basically, Joseph had one of the Egyptian servants I was under him take a golden cup. I don't know if it say golden, but he set the cup in Benjamin's bag. So then when they found the cup in his bag, he said, "Okay, he stole it. You gonna have to stay back. Y'all gotta leave him."
Right.
So James said, "Shit, we got to get back
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah.
We gotta go get him." They got my little boy.
That'll be the second baby.
Hey, you gotta think about what that did to Israel,
Yeah.
man. He had already lost his favorite son, and now you got the second year, the youngest again. You don't have to leave him behind.
So it was favoritism? Jacob playing favorites?
Like a pair of shoes.
He's supposed to love them all the
The
same.
brothers
right?
that got children know about that. You
Yeah.
got some that's, or maybe one that's your favorite.
one.
Right.
But you gotta treat them. You gotta treat them equally. But you know.
You still got more.
Yeah, I'm gonna start at the top of 45.
Okay. Genesis chapter 45 and verse 1. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried, "Cause every man to go out from me." And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren.
Alright, so he kicked everybody out, man. He couldn't take it no more. He did all he had done, and he was sitting there, and he managed. He got the best of him, man. And you got to think he had understanding at that point. You think he didn't understand why he went through what he went through? Look where I'm at because of what my brothers had done. Well, go ahead.
And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph, doth my father yet live?
Mm-hmm.
And
So that's what he wanted to know is, man, is Pop still living? Think he wasn't missing his father? Go ahead.
And his brethren could not answer him, for they
He
were...
ain't asked about his mama though.
That's a good ass point.
And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence.
Going into the dream he had, they was terrified. Like, shit, this is second in command in all of Egypt. Go ahead.
He was right.
Right.
Yeah, he was right, and that's what the Most High set up. He humbled the hell out of him through that famine, and then seeing his position in Egypt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so hit them like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, I want to say was that Rachel died giving birth to Benjamin.
Mm.
Yeah.
God. You got it.
And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me hither. For the Most High did send me before you to preserve life.
Man.
So that's what you said. We gotta. I be doing that sometimes. Like, just keep reading. That
was
show you
good.
that Joseph knew.
Yeah, that was it. He understood what the Most High had done, all for the sake of preserving the life of his brethren. Man, go ahead.
For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years, in the which there shall neither be...
So they was only 2 years into the famine. They still had 5 more years of famine to go. Now, if the Most High wouldn't have set up Joseph to be in this position, they wouldn't have been able to survive through the famine. They wouldn't have been able to afford to go and buy corn that whole time, unless their brother was in that position. So they still would have had 5 more years to try to survive through, man. Go ahead.
I was coming to a point too.
Yeah.
I want to say was that this is also proof that the Hamites and the Israelites is of color. Well, I say Israel of color because his brother couldn't tell the difference. You know, they thought Joseph was a Hamite until he said, "Nah, I'm Joseph."
Good point.
Yeah, because he had the guy, about the Arab Mason with the Jeremiah 14:2 trying to got it done.
That nigga.
Man, it's a part that specifically say when he first had laid eyes on him, when Joseph had saw his brother and his brothers had saw him, they didn't recognize him. They called him because it said that he was strange unto him.
Right. They ain't seen him for like about 13, 14 years, I believe. So Joseph left the house, he was like 17, I believe. According to the account, he was like 17. They sold him into slavery, and he was 30 in Egypt. He was like around 30.
42 and 8.
You found it?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of bring it out, brother. Oh, for sure.
Start at 7. It says Genesis chapter 42 and verse 7. It says, and Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but he made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, whence come ye?
He got in their ass, basically.
Yeah. Said, whence come ye? And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him.
God, that's it. Well, keep reading real quick.
It says, and Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, ye are spies, to seek the nakedness of the land, ye are come.
He started toying with him, man. Go ahead.
And they said unto him, nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come.
So that dream came true. They called him Lord. At that point in time, when he interpreted the dream, they was pissed off. You little arrogant punk. You keep talking
Yeah,
about
they
all
had
this.
to come in submission. This is the top man under Pharaoh.
Like the scripture said, who I resist the Most High will.
Okay. Yeah, we ain't gonna read all that. Let's pick back up in 45. I just want the water find that part.
Genesis chapter 45 and verse 6. For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in the which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. And the Most High sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance.
That's the point, man. Bring it out one more time, man. That's the whole. The Most High set all this up, man, just to preserve Israel, man. Give them a great deliverance, man, out of the famine. And that show you the Most High. He's always been with Israel. He's always protected his chosen.
Mm-hmm. And it's showing the power of the Most High. That he work in mysterious ways.
Oh, and just a little quick note in verse 6 where it say be earing, that means plowing the ground. So it wouldn't be no planting, no plowing or harvest. And everybody know what a sheaf is too, huh? A sheaf, that would be the wheat that's like if you Google sheaf, it'll show you it's the you know how that wheat be kind of crossed like that and had to wrap around it like that. That's the sheaf. Come
Like a bundle. There's a bundle.
Yeah.
Like what?
Bundle of like a bundle
Yeah.
of wheat.
That's what they be saying. That song, bringing in the sheep.
I never knew what they were saying.
Yeah, we're gonna read on. Stop at 18.
And the Most High sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but the Most High.
So he gave credit to the Most High. Then he let them know that that's why when he first revealed himself, he told them, how does it word it?
Be not grieved.
Yeah, be not grieved. So now he telling them that don't feel bad about what y'all did. This was the Most High doing this, man. Showing that's another cut for free will too, on that free will bullshit.
Come on.
So now it is not you that sent me hither, but the Most High, and he hath made me a father to Pharaoh, and Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, Thus saith thy son Joseph, the Most High hath made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not. And then shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herds, and all that thou hast.
Right. That's what in Gershon, that's where Israel dwelt. In Egypt.
What is it? Because the Egyptian thing like to deal with like cattle and things like that, agriculture.
Yeah, they like to deal with shepherd men.
Right,
Yeah, it's an abomination to them to deal
Right.
with.
Dang.
In verse 11, and there will I nourish thee, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household and all that has come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen. And ye shall haste and bring down my father hither. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with
I
him.
know that was some crying right there. That had to be some crying going on.
Go ahead.
And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brothers are come. And it pleased Pharaoh well and his servants. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, say unto thy brethren, this do ye, lade your beast, and go. Get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and you shall eat the fat of the land.
That's it right there, man. The Most High did all that to preserve Israel, man, and they ended up getting the good of Egypt, man. The good land of Egypt, man. The Most High set up Joseph and put him through all those different things just for that purpose, man. It's like I was saying, that's just when we go into this history and build your faith up in the Most High, knowing that He gonna put us through certain hardships, man. As long as you keep faith, keep the faith in the Most High, man. All right, your faith according along with your works, man, and we gonna be good, man.
Yep. Israel became a nation in Egypt.
God.
And then a greater deliverance came from that whole. That's really the stem of the great deliverance. That's the stem of it. How it all would come about.
God. Shit, that was all I had. What is that in the scriptures they might have wanted to bring out?
Yeah, quick scripture. It's Job 8:8. It says, for I inquire, I pray thee. It says, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow. It says, shall not they teach thee, and tell thee, and utter words out of their heart? That was it.
Speak on it.
You know, just like the brother was going into, the historical accounts we have is for our learning, to build up our faith and see how men of the Lord, how their character was, you know, how they acted towards the Most High, how they pleased the Most High. And they are leaders to us today, examples that we are to follow.
Yeah. You see that, and see, we get something different from it, because Esau know all this history. They got game shows, and they ask all the different questions about different accounts, names, lands, and Esau, hitting the little buzzer button and screaming out these answers. But when we read this, we connect with this, man, because this is our history, man. That's it, man.
I had something. 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 16. And therefore he never withdraweth his mercy from us, and though he punish with adversity, yet doth he never forsake his people.
Man.
That was 2 Maccabees what?
Chapter 6 and verse 16.
Okay, the one.